And where we at? We are in a time of high inflation. What is inflation? Inflation is essentially, the rising of prices of things. For me, I like to keep it simple. You understand me? And I always like to look at what does a dollar really buy? How much is a dollar really worth? You feel me? And when I look at how much a dollar is really worth, it's not worth a lot, right? Like I used to be able to go take a dollar and go buy me 3 bags of chips. Now, if I want to go buy me a bag of chips with a dollar, you understand me? I may be able to get 1 bag. And so therefore you can see inflation has risen. And the model that they utilize for inflation is off because they say that it has not risen only just 8%. Now I want y'all to write this down and I want y'all to make sense of this, right? So when you talk about gross domestic product, you're talking about the amount of spending that Americans are doing, the amount of profit essentially that the country is bringing in. Right now, spending is down because money costs more to be able to borrow. Right, this is just some simple financial literacy lessons for you to be able to understand. Right. Hold on, I got a lot of people. We got a lot of people asking me about some money. Boom. So, and I know everybody concerned about CERN, and I'm gonna talk about CERN at the end of this, so y'all can catch whatever jewels that y'all looking for. So, with inflation being high, that means the cost of things are going up, right? So, essentially, if you work in a job, what you're going to want to do is try to get a raise. If you get a raise, then essentially that may be able to offset inflation a little bit for you, right? So, basically, if you're looking at it is if inflation is 8%, then it lets you know how much money you need to make to break even. So, you need to, if your money's sitting in the bank and it's not giving you 8% return, right? And that means that you're losing money in the bank. It's really, truly simple. Now, I see some people say, the average lower class people don't have to worry about inflation. And that's a complete 100% unadulterated, unfactual sucker lie. You understand me? Because inflation has hit everybody. 8% is a high rate, especially when you're talking about the amount increase in rent, right? The increase in food, increase in transportation, right? Increase in all of these different things. So you need to be able to increase the amount of money that you make, right? So when we're talking about 8%, when really it's probably around 10%, then that means you need to increase your buying power. You need to increase the amount of profit that you make, you understand me, by 8 to 10%, right? If you get it at 8%, then that means that your money is breaking even. If you are bringing in 10% more as inflation goes up, now you're starting to make profit. Now you're actually starting to have growth, right? But without you actually beating inflation, you're not making any money. You're just trying to preserve your money or losing money, right? So for me, now you're going to look at number one, write down what your net worth is. How much money are you bringing in, right? And you have to start calculating for the increased hikes and prices of things, right? When you start looking at your growth rate from year to year, and I know a lot of people don't do this because they feel like they don't have enough money to start doing these things, right? So let's say if you make 30,000, right? Um, Somebody put down there in the comments, right? What is 10% of 30,000? Come on now. If last year you made 30,000, what's 10% of 30,000? Let's get to it. That's $3,000, right? My YouTube followers a little faster. So that's $3,000. So that means that if you're making $30,000 per year, right, and inflation is at 8%, right, then I want you to make 10% more this year so you can at least beat inflation by 2%. That puts you out of a recession. So when I'm talking about recession, let's think about it as a personal recession, right? So if you having a quarterly downturn where you're not beating inflation, right, by 2 quarters in a row, because that's what it is when you're talking about the U.S. economy. You understand me? If they're not beating it in 2 quarters, then they're in a recession. But let's talk about your personal recession. Your personal recession is if the average inflation was at 2%, right? And the average growth of the economy was around 3 to 4%, which means that it was beating inflation. So therefore, you have growth. It means it's not in a recession, right? And I'm just super oversimplifying what is a very technical, you understand me, analysis, right? So now, if personally I made $30,000 and I want to beat inflation, right? Then I need to make an extra $3,000 per year, right? And that 3,000 is only allowing me to beat inflation, but that's not going to really allow me to beat transportation costs, food costs, surging rent costs, right? And all of the other costs when you look at price hikes of companies that do that so that they can try to increase their profits during this slow downturn, right? So that means really you want to be able to increase it. For me, I would say about 15%. You understand me? Just on be on the safe side of calculating all of those different new things that's going in. But what we want to try to do is we want to try to double up. You understand me? So if I was you, I'd try to go for 100% increase. If I'm doing 30,000, then your goal should be right 60,000. Now, it's not going to say that everybody's going to hit that goal, but the moment you start going for goals like that, you might land at 40, you might land at 50, right? And this is why I'm going to get to the idea of monetizing everything, right? Like you have to understand you cannot afford to be out here just trying to give away free shit. Listen, there's a lot of free on YouTube. There's a lot of free on all these platforms. So if somebody wants something free, they can go find it. But if they want you to teach it, if you want to spend hundreds of hours creating content, right? If you want to do anything, then it should be connected to a profit. I'm just going to be 100% with y'all. Like all of that poor righteous teacher, let's just give away everything and be happy and just give away knowledge. Like, let's cut that out. Because the reality of it is that there's like this is a free lesson right here. But at the end of the day, I'm telling you to get that bundle pack so you can get the wealth standard and infinite wealth strategies. Why? Because more knowledge, more money. Somebody put in the chat, more knowledge, more money. Talk to me, man. Why more knowledge, more money? Because the more knowledge you get, the more valuable become, and money chases value. Value don't chase money. I just want y'all to understand that. More knowledge, more money. Because value chases money and knowledge increases your value. Knowledge increases your wealth standard. It have you living higher. The more you know, the more you grow. You feel me? You got to remember that. Write that down. More knowledge, more money. Why? Because more value. Money was created for exchange of things of value. It's the evidence of energy. Money is currency, right? So once you understand that, currency comes in different forms. So a lot of our misunderstandings about money is our lack of understanding what money is, because we've only understand it in the physical aspect of looking at a paper physical representation of money, not understanding what it means as a currency, the fluctuation of that currency, and all the things that can be currency, right? So knowledge itself is a currency. Because if I could teach somebody something and then they pay me for it, which one was more valuable, the knowledge or the money? Just think about that for a second. I could literally decide to open up my clientele list and say that I'm going to do one-on-one mentorships for $10,000 a month. And I can say, pay me in gold. I can say, pay me in silver. I can say, pay me in crypto. And somebody will exchange that money, right, for the value that I have within this knowledge. Why? Because the knowledge is more valuable than the money. It's going to save you time, and time is money, right? It's going to save you process. It's going to save you learning speed, right? And also you're getting a physical teacher that can break it down in a manner to where you can comprehend until you get it. So what may have took me, 10,000 hours to learn, I can condense it in a few hours to teach. So now you don't have to go through that process, which makes it what? More efficient or more effective, right? Effective going a longer distance in a shorter amount of time. Longer distance in a shorter amount of time. That's your goal, is how can I be more effective and not just efficient? The efficiency is doing what you're already good at consistently, right? You're efficient at getting money the way you already do. You efficient at the processes that you already learned. But now we got to get to effective. How do we go further in a shorter amount of time? Right? All right, so let's get back to it. And see, like, this is how I know my value, right? I'm going to stop doing these lives, and I'm only going to be dropping a link in the Discord, and I'm just going to be doing these lives, just giving them to the students, and just value, right? But anyway, let me get back to it for a second. So when we're talking about inflation being at 8% right now, they have to see if they have a second downturn to classify this as a recession. So those numbers come out in July 30th, end of July, somewhere around that time, right? So of course, there's no way that the economy is doing 10% growth, because the economy normally only has to do 3 to 4%, because inflation is normally only at 2%, right? And we know that spending is down. We seen Tesla talk about how he has supply chain issues. He ain't making no money, he say, right? And he may be doing that just so that he can get a buyout, a bailout from America. But America currently not doing bailouts. They're not giving away money. Right now, the only way right now they say that you can beat it is if you go put it in bonds. Bonds essentially when people loan the government money, because the government does not make money. Right? The government capitalizes off everybody else making money. Right? They manage the economy, and they manage creating jobs. Like, that's the government's job. But they don't always create good jobs and effective jobs. Right? Because the U.S. economy has been slowly decreasing in its brain power. So therefore, you're not seeing a lot of inventiveness and a lot of innovation. And that's also due to the lack of population growth and the population size. So when you see an economy consistently getting older, then it's going to be less innovation, right? It's going to be less invention in the country, right? Which is why they want to do Wade versus Roe and things of that nature, because they understand that America is slowly dying. At least particularly white America are rapidly decreasing at a higher rate. So for me, it's about high level global observation. I want to be able to look at the full board and understand the whole thing. You did? All right. So now we're going towards, and we're starting to understand this a little bit. Like, what you need to increase is your purchasing power, right? Because if a dollar decreases in purchasing power, like I said with the chips, if chips were 35 cents, when I was young, they was 35 cents. I think I maybe seen them at 25 cents before. And I feel like when my moms and my pops used to talk about when they had like nickel bags of chips, I feel like OG saying that. But even y'all have seen price hikes increase fast when they used to increase over decades. Now they're increasing over years. And I hypothesize that the new decade is 3.5 years. It's not 10 years anymore, right? And when we look at different generations, because some of you all are generation millennial, so I will be considered a millennial, right? And then you got baby boomers, and then you got the what the mother generation's called. I forget what y'all call, but y'all know what y'all name is. But each generation can be defined by the events that they go through. Now, this generation is going through a multitude of different events, right? And what happens is that it changes the way Gen X, sorry about that. It changes the way that you think, right? So we went through a recession already, 2008. We went through the coronavirus, right? We went through having the first black president. We went through Donald Trump, right? We're going through the tech boom. We're going through Web3 boom, right? With blockchain and crypto, right? And now we're going through, war, going through the Russia war, right? We're going through so many different things. We have Bush era, so many different things. So once you're looking at all of these different things, and this creates a shift in the reality of how people value money. And what we just seen is a baby bust through COVID, meaning that less people having babies during COVID. But then we also seen something that we haven't seen before, which is supposedly reported that Americans have more savings than any other time in history. So there was more money printed than any other time in history in 2020, but there was also more money saved because guess what? People in the house, you can only order so much off Amazon, and then you ain't got nothing to spend because you have to remember people habits have average spending from transportation, which decreased down to zero because you weren't going nowhere. Then you had a decrease in food, right? Because you wasn't going to none of the restaurants. You may do some Uber Eats, but even everything wasn't even open, right? You're not spending money on going to the club, right? Average person spending $76 to $176. So that's decreased. Entertainment, you're not going to concerts, movie theaters was closed. So all of that money that you normally would have spent traveling, all of it decreased. So Americans have more time to spend. Plus, when you did get outside, they didn't have no new fly stuff, right? The clothing brands were they got all old season stuff, wasn't nothing to buy. So they saying Americans have a record number of savings. Now, I think that this is a good thing, and I think that the U.S. economy is actually growing, but in comparison to all of the different factors, it's slowing that down, right? Because if the U.S. economy is growing, because I think people want to spend, I think they have money to spend, number one, but with the increased cost of transportation, increased cost of food, right, and all of the other hike prices that we now see, then of course it limits the purchasing power that you have with the money that you currently have. But what this does is it makes you better set to be able to go through, right, a recession. So if there is a downturn, right, because you got to remember most of the people that's suffering right now through cryptocurrency and stocks, these are most likely of the middle class, people who have money and that they can allocate towards wealth, because everybody doesn't have money they can allocate towards wealth, right? And money you allocate towards wealth, we're talking about crypto, we're talking about stocks, we're talking about land, we're talking about, assets and investments, right? So we've seen a lot of people with increased side hustles, such as Airbnb, such as Turo, such as event spaces. So a lot of people, and now we're seeing, of course, social media monetization, people figuring out ways to monetize their life with things that have nothing to do with a job to bring in extra money, right? E-commerce, Amazon, right? Google. We see all these different ways people figuring out ways to make money. So this is a different point in time where even if Americans don't have a job, and remember, you understand me? America's job is to create jobs. As a corporation, that's their job. But if Americans go through a great resignation, which we did, where a lot of people in record numbers were quitting their job, but they still making money, right? Then America is no longer needed. Them as a boss, them as they can't be as efficient or effective in their job itself because they can create any kind of jobs and say, yo, the job market growth is growing. But they may not be creating jobs that are directly affecting, right, America's GDP, which is increasing its spending and the amount of money that's being generated in America, right? Plus, we've seen an increased number of people taking out loans. A lot of people that didn't got into crypto, a lot of them took out loans. We're seeing the platforms of cryptocurrency are going bankrupt, and they're being, taken over by and I seen Lawrence Simmons talking about this, and I share the sentiment because I had tweeted out months ago that we're going to see a lot of acquisition of companies, right? Because a lot of people are over leveraged, means that they were spending beyond their means, borrowing money to spend beyond their means because we are in a bull market. And now that we are in a bear market, they don't have the money to be able to hold on. So companies such as Binance and some of these chains, they decide to say, okay, well, this is the time that we're going to expand while everybody else is contracting, which allows them to be able to take over more of the market. And so y'all see me tweet out about Binance because once I see companies behaving like that, and Binance always had a good balance sheet because Binance, and this is some of the early knowledge that I put out when people asked about which platforms, I say Binance specifically just for this reason. There was a hack that happened on Binance, and people lost a lot of money. But Binance had like 100+ million or so in their reserve, and they was able to pay everybody back because they had insurance. And that's a good move if you're going to get on a platform, especially if you don't own your own keys, right? So in cryptocurrency, the idea is you own your keys. So if the platform go bankrupt, it doesn't affect your money. So this is where you want to be concerned with. So now we're seeing Voyager went bankrupt. We're seeing a couple of these different platforms. And The better thing is to be able to find these platforms that have money, that have little debt. You understand me? They ain't got no high loans or things of that nature, and they profitable. And therefore, like Trap talks about, you got a good fundamental, you understand me, analysis of the company, and you can see how long they can last through periods of time in downturn economies. So if they got a lot of money on side, then guess what they can do? They can now take advantage of a bear market. They can buy up and acquire these companies that's sitting on the side. So now they're increasing their assets. They're taking over more of the market size because even though cryptocurrency is down, the curiosity towards cryptocurrency is still up. The confidence in new money systems is still up because you got to remember the confidence in the dollar is still decreasing on a daily basis. You feel me? So and I'm gonna tie this all in, and this is why you have to understand, like, as everything is rising, right? Having multiple streams of assets is key, right? Skill sets for assets. That's my whole thing. Skill sets for assets. Remember that. Because now I'm gonna switch over to which is why Web3 is so dangerous. And I talked about this before. You might say Binance is a joke, but it's often those type of platforms that take over the world. You understand me? Because they got so much money, and money ain't nothing to laugh at. You understand me? You laugh when you have money, but not laugh at the money because money is power and allow people to be able to monopolize and take advantage of the market. You understand me? So I want y'all to write this down. We over habitize our lives instead of monetize our lives. Habitize is spelled HOBBY or I. Yeah, HOBBITIZE. Habitize. We over habitize our lives instead of monetize our lives. Now I'm gonna get into it, why this is important, why I say that. That's a super bar. Because when we are on social media, we treat this like a hobby. People come on here, they make content, right? You on here sharing your artistry, you sharing your content, you sharing your thoughts, you doing all of these things, but you're not directly monetizing. And like I said, I'm gonna give the analogy of the 360 contract again. Because how many of y'all are in the 360 contract? How many of y'all know what a 360 contract is? If today somebody say, yo, I want to sign you over to a 360 contract, you go say, nah, I'm good. Somebody tried to sign. I wanted to become a rapper at one point in time in my life when I was younger. And white dude tried to sign me to a 360 contract. I said, man, fuck you. So a 360 contract by definition, because this is worse than a 360 contract. A 360 contract, as it is called in the industry, is an exclusive contract between a label and an artist. In a 360 deal, a recording label not only takes a share of the artist's music sales, but also percentages of revenue from ventures such as concerts, merchandise, television appearances, and publishing. So it's not exactly a 360 contract, but what it is it's similar, right? Because they own your masters. Yeah, this is more of a 720 contract because they own your masters up front. You understand me? They own your masters up front. Now y'all like, Keith, come on, man. They don't own my masters. Yeah, they do. I'm gonna prove it to you. How do I know they own your masters? All right, let's get to it. When you sign into social media, right? The same if you go sign a contract with a record label, they go say, okay, listen, let's say we own your masters. Maybe you can get pennies on a dollar of your record sales. So maybe you get 3 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents, maybe. But we might even just keep 100%. You don't get paid off none of it because what they end up doing is they give them a loan, right? And then they have to utilize the loan to oftentimes fund their own marketing, their own videos, travel, transportation, things of that nature, essentially to build up their brand. And then that same money has to be paid back to the record label, right, from album sales so that they can recoup, right, helping you build up your brand. So essentially, it's a bona fide loan. Now, social media is a little different. Social media, I'm going to get to why I'm similarly utilizing that, right? When an artist signs a deal such as that and they're not making no money from the music, they have to monetize their brand by leveraging their brand. So if you build on my brand, now I'm on TV. Now I have hundreds of thousands of fans and things of that nature, right? Now all of these people know who I am. So I say, cool. You could do like Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez is independent, so he's getting 100% monetization on his brand. So that one's different. That's what independent artists try to do, 100% monetization, or they partner with somebody, go 50-50, you understand me, or 60-40, however it is, because they can leverage their brand, they have more power. But an artist will have to say, okay, well, I'll do a concert, and I will make the revenue from that concert, depending on the structure of their deal. But let's say that the structure of the deal is that y'all don't get any of my concert money. Y'all don't get any of my brand deal money. You understand me? Y'all don't get any of my merchandise money. So now artists is not making money directly from their intellectual property, such as the content they create through the music, but they're able to make money by leveraging their brand, right? By creating a product, right? By doing venues and events. So that's not the best. That works out for some people, but a lot of artists, which you have seen them later on, is complaining that I want my masters. I want to control the music that I make. I want to get paid off of it forever because that's generational wealth. If you can pass that down to your children, right, and children's children, they can get paid as long as people are streaming and listening to that. And music can be repurposed into movies. It can be repurposed for generations to come when people listening to that music that was made. We see that with people estates. The estates is essentially the it's like if you think of it like a LLC that owns everything that you create, right? It's you, but it's an estate that you put everything under. So artists now are saying that I don't like that kind of deal. I don't think that that's the best deal. I'd rather build on my brand and I partner with you on it if I'm doing any kind of deal, which means that maybe I get 50, you get 50%, right? You help me build it up, I share the profits with you. So if we see artists saying that we don't want to be in these masses, we've seen Prince, we've seen Michael Jackson, we've seen all of the great artists saying that that's not a good deal. What social media giants say, okay, we're going to do something similar. You sign on to social media. When you sign up, I need you to make a profile. Y'all following me? This is Web 2. This is why Web 3 is key. And that Web 3 is not built out perfectly. It's such a new thing. But this is why I want it to be the next thing. I want it to thrive. I don't want Web 2 to continue to thrive because it's unsustainable. Shout out to DJ Fresh. It's unsustainable because people are spending all of their money habitizing their gifts, but not monetizing their gift, right? So you on social media, you create a profile on a Web 2 site, right? Web 2 will be these social media profiles. So they get on there and they say, okay, you put in your name, your address, your email, all your data. Now, the moment you do that, you create a data profile. That data profile, they own that data profile. That's theirs. That's the contract. Go look at the agreement that you sign when you get on social media. The agreement is, I own this content. I own rights to this content. I own everything that you put on there. If I want to, I can cut it off if I want to. I can completely get rid of this. Okay. All right, that's what we're talking about. Now, what else do they do? So you now have to figure out how to leverage your brand. Because, all right, you got 100,000 followers. Then they say, well, we own your followers too. And we own the data to your followers. So they won't let you get access to the emails of your followers, the texts, the numbers, none of that. You can't download a data profile of everybody who decided to follow you on social media. They won't let you get that kind of access. No, that'll be you owning the data. This is why the data is more important than anything. right? Why? Because then you'll be able to retarget the audience that taps in with you and to be able to truly leverage it by selling them something so you can monetize your life, monetize your likeness, monetize your brand, monetize your money, the whole nine. You feel me? So, no, they ain't gonna give you that. But you built it up. So, Instagram got one Instagram account and they make some content, but that's one account. The other billion people that's on here are the ones who populate the platform with their intellectual property, their photography, their videography, their music, their artistry, their philosophy, right? Their hobbies, their commentary, right? Their fashion, their styling, like the political commentary, everything. So the people populate social media with the value. They create the content and make social media valuable. But social media say that we're going to keep 100% of the profits. Type in there 100% of the profits. Man, y'all better get this bundle pack, man. I'm going to teach y'all how to monetize, but y'all got to get this financial literacy, this bundle pack, because it don't make no sense. We got to monetize, not habitize. You feel me? BWO not open yet. When BWO opens, you got to text BWO to that number to get on the list, the waiting list. It's not open yet. I'm just saying. So they take 100% of your profits, blood. That's crazy to me. That is like, imagine going to your job. Yo, I need you to work and I need you to sell these bags. I need you to sell these clothes. I need you to sell these cars. Now, listen, what you're going to be able to do is build up a clientele, right? You're going to get knowledge on the job training, but everything you sell, we keep 100% of the profits. Wait a minute, I don't get nothing. No. But you can come over here and sell for us, though. That's what social media say. Y'all can come over here, create content, get people to come over here, sell for us. I need you to create marketing campaigns. I need you to do branding. I need you to create beautiful style and photography. But what you can do is, once you're over here and people know that you're a good salesperson, then you can leverage that outside of what you sell for us. I'm gonna be like, man, you wash your goddamn mind. Ain't no way I'm gonna sell for y'all and then leverage the experience that I have, more people knowing me, maybe build up a client list, and then just monetize on the side and try to leverage what I did over here. It don't make no sense because I'm working for free. Or they say, you know what? You can get tips when you talking to people, and if they give you, if you buy a car from them, you can get tips. It's like you go become a waiter, you working for free, and they say, well, I can't pay you a wage, but if you get tips, you can keep the tips. Not all of them. We still gonna take a percentage of the tips, but you can keep your tips. But not all of them. Remember that, right? Like I've been on this live, I don't know how long. Now one person gave me a tip. See, this is all free. This is me literally spending my time, and that means I will be doing this for free. You see how this doesn't make sense? Because that won't pay a single bill. That won't allow me to grow. Won't allow me to expand. Like I spend a lot of money creating high-level conversations. So I have to make sure I'm monetizing that. And the people that support us, they get the gold water, they get the crowns, they buy into the brand because it's not really free. It's reciprocity. It's give, take, give. I give you something in reciprocity, man. I find the value of this. Ain't nobody giving it like this. This changed my life. Let me support the brand so they can continue to make more and they can grow and expand, right? That makes sense. You should never want to see somebody on here of extreme value giving everything away for free. That's disrespectful because now they cannot expand unless they got a budget, unless they got money. No. And the issue is that oftentimes it's the people that's giving no value, not in a substantial form of value, but only entertainment value are the ones that are getting the most money. Not people that's giving practical value and value of utility. So no, I never wanted to see that. And I always told people, we're not doing that whole poor, broken, righteous stuff. Oh, you an activist, you shouldn't have no money. Or you're a revolutionary, you shouldn't be getting no money. Why? Shouldn't those be the people with the money so that they can continue to do more of what they do and they ain't got to go beg for money from church, from charities and the government and brands? That don't make sense. So it's like I'm changing. It's so many different things and layers as I go through how I want to go about building that I'm changing the game on how I will go about it. So now appreciate the badges. I appreciate the what you call it. See, now you see this right there when a person buys a badge. Now imagine if 700 people, and then not only, and I'm not even asking y'all to, but I'm just giving y'all an example. If that's 700 people, right? Imagine if everybody could give $100. Imagine if everybody can give 1,000. Now, social media won't let you give that much amount. So not only will they say you got to work for tips, but we're going to cap the amount of tips that you can get. Why they don't allow you to get $100? Why they don't allow you to set it? The problem is when you have to be allowed to do something on a platform because somebody else control it. They're only allowing you access to it. That's Web 2. So you create the profile. We own the data. We own all your intellectual property and content you create, and we can control how many people see it, how much money that you can get from it. It's not the best job in the world. Don't seem like the best job in the world to me. All right. So when I first got on social media, I said, I got to monetize this from day one. It's the only way it's going to make sense. I remember I used to put my Cash App down there. I'm like, no, I can't be on here just giving all my free nuggets away. And some days people used to throw 500 at me, 600 at me. I said, okay, well, now I don't mind creating value on here because now I'm getting value back, right? Otherwise, I got to go off site and leverage it. So before they had a monetization button, I'm going to figure out a way to directly monetize off my content. Now, and I appreciate everybody getting a badge, man. I love y'all for that, though. Now, what I did is I said, okay, what's a bigger key than that? A bigger key was, all right, let me actually create products. And we gonna get on fan base. You know, I like OnlyFans. The idea of OnlyFans is that people are getting paid for their content. Unfortunately, now it's connected to sex work and like a pornography site. But the idea is that y'all might be mad at OnlyFans, but that's better than using Instagram because at least people on OnlyFans are getting paid from OnlyFans because everybody on Instagram ain't a fan. See, the idea of OnlyFans would say that you can monetize from people that are actual fans. So they're going to pay you. So how many times y'all get on here on social media and somebody hating in the comments? Somebody talking about things that they don't like. Like, no, I would rather be talking to OnlyFans instead of haters and fans. Haters, fans, spectators. No, if you paying me, you a fan. And a fan not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Because your core audience, that's your fan base. You feel me? The thing about fan base, Black owned, I like it, Isaac Hayes, it has to grow, right? So fan base says that you can convert all your content and download it and upload it on fan base and a subscription base. But you need more people on fan base to be able to live off of it, right? So if that becomes bigger and more widely known, then it makes sense that I'd rather have 700 people here paying me $20 a month, paying me $100 a month, rather than having 100,000 followers, 200,000, 300,000, 500,000, and none of them paying you anything, and you spending money, time, effort, energy, creativity, imagination, everything to create content all day long. There's no actors, there's no top musicians, rappers, there's no great artists. None of them do that, but all of that is content. So what I'm trying to get people to do is change the direction of how you go about monetizing. Because you can start small and then big and build big. And it don't cost that. Let me see, what's the average rent in America? Let's do some calculations. I got to go eat, so I'm gonna get off here in a second. They say the average renter 2022 pays $1,300. The average asking rent is now $1,900, with single families averaging $2,018 a month. With a single apartment cost $1,659, right? So let's say the average is around from that about $1,500, $1,500 to $2,000. All right, so let's pull out the calculator real quick. Boom. So let's say 2,000. Let's say it's 30 days in a month, right? So let's say if you make $60 per day on the side, you feel me? That's $1,800. The average person in America will be able to pay their rent. Now, somebody say $2,900 to $3,000 a month. I know my rent is higher than that, a lot higher. Just pay rent today. Boom. So let's say, let's go to a even higher, right? Let's say if you can make $100 a day, right, in 30 days. Now we talking, right? That's a little better. Average person to be able to pay their rent. Average person can pay their rent, right? $3,000. You got to make an extra $100 a day. Boom. So what you want to do is, if you got 5 different sources of income that's bringing you $20 a day, that's $100. Bucket hats dropping soon. I got to go shoot a campaign for them, put them up on the site. You feel me? And then we ready to go. So I'm not even saying about living comfortably, because you can have a job, plus you can have those hobbies rolling. We just paid out, I think we paid an affiliate like $1,800 from Goldwater because they sold Goldwater as an affiliate. So, you know, that's helping them pay their rent. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to do, is cut down on rent costs, right? Because the more I can get you to cut down on rent costs, after all your bills is taken care of and everything else is done, that's the money you have left over for investments. That's the money you have left over for expansion, right? So let's say you do something like this. I'll just use my businesses as an example. Let's say you do Goldwater, right? If this person is doing, let's see. Yeah, so they doing about $60 a day, right, in affiliates for Goldwater by making $1,800, right? So that's super solid. They don't have to make the product, right? They don't have to create the marketing for it. We creating the marketing. They're just finding a way to be able to sell it by pushing it out, being a brand ambassador, right, and becoming an affiliate. Affiliates are a great way to be able to make money. You can create a YouTube channel. You ain't got to have a lot of followers to do this. You're going to find different businesses that allow you to do affiliates, and most of these companies allow you to do affiliates. Just text affiliate down there. I'm gonna have a link sent out to everybody for the affiliate thing. So no, that's not multi-level marketing, because multi-level marketing is kind of like, I don't like multi-level marketing. I'm talking about where you sell something and you just get paid and then a person ship off that. But I like affiliate because essentially you finding a company that you like. No, you got to text it. Don't type it. You finding a company that you like, and essentially what you're doing is you're selling for them without having to do any of the shipping, without having to deal with any of the overhead costs. That's it. But I refer you to find companies that you like. So you can actually have a small relative following, 100, 200, 300, right? And because you have a small audience, you're more intimate with them. They trust you more. So you're going to find things that you actually like. And you easily, and if you create something on YouTube, you're going to find new customers that's just going to be watching it regardless. So you don't actually have to have a large following. If you got subscribers, good. Build them up, be consistent. But otherwise, you creating content and you are reviewing products, you understand me? And then people are watching your reviews, and then they deciding to buy, and then you getting paid. right? That's monetizing. Now, I suggest everybody write a book. You write a book, let's say you got a digital ebook, right? There's zero overhead costs. You can connect it to a Shopify store and you can start selling it. And let's say if you sell each book at $20 or $10, right? If you sell them at $10, you only got to sell 2 books to get $20 a day, right? So what I'm saying is creating a 5 separate different list of income, and the minimum $20 a day from these 5 separate ones. As you have a system working, that's $3,000 a month for the average person, and that's going to take the average rent of an American in a year. Now, these are things you can do alongside of your job. Right? Because what I'm trying to get people to do is to understand, like, it's not that hard to make more money. It's not that hard, but you definitely need to be able to monetize everything you do. Because a lot of you all, you may be on doing lives, you may be, writing long captions and books, but I think it's also part of the laziness of this generation. Instead of systemizing, organizing it, right, so that you can monetize it, you give it out freely, which makes you feel like you're actually doing something, but it's not the most effective. But you're efficient at being consistent with throwing out your philosophies, making yourself sound deep. And I read some stuff on there. I say, God damn, sis deep, bro, deep, man. This sound good. This would be great if it was actually in a book. But when you do a book, you actually now got to organize your life. So instead, you rather hobbitize it. You understand me? Instead of monetize it. No, that don't make no sense. I don't want to see you putting out all this content on social media and you not selling nothing. That don't make no sense to me. Yeah, bro said he admitted, he said he lazy. Can't do nothing with you if you lazy. I believe you only deserve what you work for. So if you don't work for it and you don't have it, then you don't deserve it. Lazy is as lazy does. So when I see people, I'm like, yo, you'll be doing great lives on here, but you won't format that and put it into a podcast. And then once you put it into a podcast, maybe you don't get 1,000,000 people that watch it. Maybe you get 1,000 people. You building up an audience over time. Now you can go to small businesses and be like, yo, now you got another place to sell affiliate products. Now you got another place to be able to place products. You understand me? And or create a business on the side of that. Because if you build up an audience, now you need to create a product to where you can leverage that audience. Like you got to be able to monetize everything and leverage everything that you create. Yeah, bucket hats is coming, man. I'm glad y'all love these. Y'all going crazy over these bucket hats. I ain't gonna lie, they going crazy. So for me, we got to stop doing the lazy thing. So it's the same thing with Web3. Instead of like I seen it's with like even with this Web3 stuff and the digital assets such as NFTs, a lot of people are just lazy about it. You understand me? Instead of learning NFTs, instead of learning Web3, nah, you rather be lazy about it. I don't want to learn what the future is. I'd rather wait till it comes, watch everybody else monetize off of it, then I become their product and they make money off of me. Everybody don't deserve to be at that higher level of living. Unfortunately, we live in a society that is based on capitalism. So if it's based on capitalism and you don't know how to capitalize, then you will be the one that's capitalized. People will capitalize on your life. That's it. So Web3 is I explained Web2. So y'all get the idea of Web2 that you don't own anything on Web2. You don't control it on Web2. So I put together a 4-week. How many people in the IWS? Drop a key if you're in the IWS. Let me know. Because I had people in the IWS. I taught some of my strategies, and bruh put out a book. I think he did like 10,000 in the first week. killing the game, right? Because what I do is I take a 3 to 4 week strategy that you can utilize to be able to make money quickly. Not only that, teach you how to separate your content and create content. Okay, I'm seeing all my IWS people in here. There's a workbook involved, but I don't like over teaching, because over teaching is saying that the student is always waiting for the next lesson when they haven't mastered the previous. There's people that was in the previous BWO and still have access to their portals, but won't go through everything to gain all of the lessons and knowledge that's in there. There's people that's in the wealth standard, the infinite wealth strategies, and won't go through all of the knowledge that's in there. So it's no point of teaching you the next lesson if you haven't mastered the previous one. So instead of IWS being at 2,000, I put that bundle right there. That bundle right there, that's $222. You get the Infinite Wealth Strategy Master Pack, all of the lessons all in one. And that's me monetizing. But for you, that's $20,000 worth of information in there. How to set up your trust, how to do businesses, how to get the books, the whole nine. Like, that's not something that I play around with this information. It's a whole financial literacy course, intro to options, the whole nine. Like, you go get the game. There's strategies in there in real life. And if you take that and you listen to it, then you're good to go. So I'm not even, when I roll out the Web3 conversation is saying that instead of going on social media and creating a profile where you put it under somebody else's data, you have your data connected to a wallet. With that data being connected to your wallet, right? Now, what you're saying is when you go into a platform, these platforms are connected to the blockchain. So instead of these platforms owning everything, you bringing what you own to the platforms, and you can migrate that data wherever you go. And anytime somebody wants to, so imagine if social media was like this, and I'm gonna give y'all this example, and then I'm off. Make sure y'all text bundle to 323-577-6692. So imagine if social media was at this point where if you go on social media on Instagram and you connect your wallet to it. Now, your wallet has all your data, your name, your address. It has all your content on there, your pictures, your photos. So when you go on social media, everything populates because it's connected to your wallet. Instagram don't own it, they just host it. Right? Now, when they do that, let's say somebody want to run ads on your content. Now you're getting paid off of it. And then you can set how much you want social media to get paid off of it. So let's say Facebook was like, all right, well, we'll give you more people. We'll bring you more ads and sponsors because we're going to help manage your content, right? We'll bring you more ads and sponsors if you allow us to get 30% profit, 40%, 50%. So you set the tone. Instead, Instagram basically says that we can run ads on your shit and then you ain't got to get paid. Reels are growing Instagram phenomenally, but the people not really getting paid. They say for 80 million reels, you can get 80 million views, you get $5,000. 80 million views? You show me a what show in America is getting 80 million views? $5,000? You telling me if I create some content that's gonna get 80 million views and I only get $5,000? Nah, that don't make no sense. So Web3 is about ownership. It's about control. This is what you have to understand, the difference of everything that we're talking about. So when you see these platforms saying they're going to Web3, they're saying that you can own your data, you can own your identity, you can monetize off the things that you create, and you can get paid off of it directly. That's what they told me. They told me 80 million views on my platform. And not only that, see, they switch it up for different people. Don't make no sense, right? Don't make no goddamn sense. Why they say 8,500? And it changes every like month or two. So it's not over the course of a year. You got to do it within like a quick 30-day cycle. So you get a deadline to get 85 million views, which is going to be damn near impossible. So you never going to be able to get the full. Come on, man. In this cycle, I got 3.6 million views. That couples out to about $414, right? I have to July 17th to get the other 80 million views so that I can get the other $8,100. I ain't gonna lie. If I knew how to create 81 million views on social media, number one, I wouldn't even worry about that. I would be leveraging that for a product, for a service, for some leadership, for some impact. Shout out Sateria. She just got that bundle pack. Sateria Posey. So that means that social media is playing us. Social media is saying that y'all can get tips on here. You understand me? But y'all can't never monetize your content. And now they're supposed to be rolling out subscription fees. So what happened. And let me give y'all the last part of the game so it all makes sense to y'all. With everybody wanting to go to Web3, the companies are in trouble. The companies are in trouble because people want to own their own data. You tired of how many times you go on the site and they say, yo, can you press yes for cookies? Cookies is essentially, you understand me, they tracking your data. They going to take your data and they going to sell it to another company, which is why you get all the text messages and emails, because they're going to track you, figure out your spending habits, and then try to show you something to get you to buy. So people are getting tired of this data and this privacy stuff, and they want to go to a Web3, and it's messing up the amount of money that these companies can make off you and your data. So now it's a decreased profits. So now they're saying, okay, we got to move to Web3 and figure out a way where we can continue to increase our profits and work out a system that makes sense for the content creators and for the sellers and for the users, right, of the internet. So this is the one disruption that Bitcoin, that blockchain has had, because the blockchain was not about the price of cryptocurrency. The blockchain was about the utility of the technology and how we can shift the platforms to make change, to be able to monetize and own everything you do. Because Web 1 was when the internet first came on. You could put these pages up, but they was read only. You can't click on sites and go into chat rooms and stream stuff. That was Web 1. Web 2, when we switched over to 3G to 4G, now you're able to stream. Right now you're able to click on sites. Shout out to Clarissa Dumas. She just got that bundle pack. Now you're able to stream onto these sites, right? Now you're able to jump on, and social media said that you can read and you can write with it. You can interact with it. So for me, this is the internet. You enter the net. You caught up in the trap. Now for me, I say this is the owner net. You owning the net. You owning your data. You owning your, you understand me, your intellectual property. That's the game changer. So I want to teach people about Web3 and the owner net. You feel me? So thank you. So you can be on the block market, you feel me, getting money. That's what we're going to be teaching a lot in BWO as well, how to capitalize off these things to come. Yeah, I trademarked that. Don't even worry about it. I ain't even say that till I sent it. My lawyer got all that trademark. Don't you even worry about that. Big trademark. I've been going trademark crazy lately. I be wanting to get his game away, but I got to make sure I own the game. Don't share it till you own it. That's my slogan. Yeah, fuck the stock market. We on the block market. That's my slogan. So when I say block world order, I'm talking about ownership. You did? The stock market, that's some old shit white guys created. You know what I'm saying? Like that's whatever. That's cool or whatever. That's old shit though. That's one way to make money. That's cool. We need new ways to make money. And I want people to still use the stock market. Get your money in stocks. I still got money in stocks. Still got my portfolio. I'm still accumulating. But that's all right. We do that. That's slow money unless you get skill sets to be able to build and trade in the market on a daily basis. Then you can get quicker money, right? But I want to talk about the block market. Let's talk about the block market. How can we utilize? How can we own it? Right? And how can we become more effective with this thing? I want to be able to monetize off my whole life, everything that I create, everything that I put out. And I want to be able to control it 100%. It don't make no sense because nobody ever broke it down to us like, damn, y'all right. I don't own shit on here. Only thing you can own on Web 2 is a .com. Web 1 was ownership as well because the only thing you can do is put out things for other people to read. It was basically like a newspaper. You got these flash sites. Web 2, they took away ownership and we loved it. So Web 3 is we're going to put ownership back into your hands, put creatorship back into your hands, and let you monetize off of it. The direct website to Goldwater is www.goldwater.com. They actually took down our page on social media and didn't give us a single reason. That's Web 2. Web 3 is they can't take it down because you own it and they have no control over what you put up. That's Web 3. So we're not completely there yet at all. But this is the ideas that Web 3 is being built on. This is the foundation. So you want Web 3 to come into play because that means more power, more money, more monetization for you. I got a reel that got 4 million views. I think almost 20,000 people remixed it. I'm sure people monetizing that reel. It probably made social media. It probably made Instagram $1 million+ dollars. How much money do you think I get from that? Zero. You feel me? How much money do you think I get? I got zero from that. So that doesn't make sense. So what's happening now is, and these are the things that you need to do. You have to, let me give you the game, copyright and trademark everything you do. Copyright is so important because it's going to be a way that you can monetize going into the future. You want everything copyrighted. So when somebody else posts your video like they do on YouTube, it's going to be the same on Instagram, where if they post a video that you own, the software will be able to detect that it's your video, and then it's monetizing for you and not them. All right, I'm done, man. That's enough game for one day. Make sure y'all go click bundle, man. Get your bundle pack, get your education, and get your value together. Everybody should be writing a book because you can put your legacy out there. We teach you how to write a book, put it on the blockchain, teach you how to write a book where, we give you strategies that you can utilize to make money off of it. I want y'all to have them 5 hustles, $20 a day, make that $100 a day, make that $3,000 a month, pay your rent. Now you free up some of your other income to start investing and growing. And that's just the minimum. No, I'm not saving this live. I never say these kind of lives because Instagram don't deserve these. I got a few of these that I just keep, and we're going to put it behind a paywall. A paywall is essentially what somebody has to pay in order to gain access. I can't just leave everything out there for free. That's why I say I got to stop seeing us put out content for free. If it's valuable, people will pay. It come to food, it come to porn, it come to entertainment, all these things, people pay if it's value. So anyway, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. But that's all y'all get today. Text bundle to 323-577-6692 if y'all appreciate the knowledge that I give. You want to get that bundle pack for $222. You understand me? That's basically 99% off from the regular price. You understand me? Y'all lock in, teach your children, teach yourself, get it as a gift, get it to a friend, whatever it is. The bundle pack only $222. Best money spent in your life. I promise you. You feel me? It's a guarantee. Ain't no games played on that one. I love y'all too, man. I just came to give y'all some game. If you are on the YouTube, text bundle to 323-577-6692. The bucket hats will be available. Last thing I'll say about CERN. Everybody's concerned with CERN. Y'all don't know CERN. Go look up CERN on Wikipedia and see who gave us the internet. CERN. So y'all not really concerned with CERN because CERN is the one who gave us the internet. Go look it up. How we get the internet? It was CERN. So everybody is concerned with CERN because CERN was the one who collided the particles together, right? And they found the Higgs boson particles, right? And they find this antimatter and dark matter, and they talk about opening up portals and black holes and all of these different things. But Y'all not concerned about that. That's a distraction. It ain't nothing you can do about that. We can have a discussion about that till we blue in the face. It ain't a single guy. I'm not going over in CERN and kicking down a machine. So I told you I don't focus on things that I can't control. I don't mind having a conversation about it, but it's not a concern. You dig? But anyway, last but not least, I tell you I was in a bundle because it's a lot. Shout out to Eugenia Muhammad, just got that bundle pack. When you click on it, you can actually see what's in that bundle pack. It's a lot more than I've actually just explained here. A lot more. If you are foreign and you need the text, click the link in the bottom to the Telegram so you can get access to that bundle pack. Let me pull up. And then I am out. Because it really is too much on there. So you'll get the high level mindset training. You'll get the Monday night meetings with my pops. You'll get the metaverse course. You'll get the crypto course. You'll get the NFT. You will get the how to set up your trust, right? You're going to get the workbook, the content monetization secrets, my personal ones, the 19 C's of content, how to create a book in 3 to 4 week strategies. Get the mindset development where I go through training the mindset. You'll get the transcendental meditation courses. You'll get the mindset mastery. You'll get the learning how to learn. You'll get the feminine business woman class that was taught by my sister. This is a class taught by my pops and one taught by my brother. You're going to get the bonus pack with Derek Grace and Brother BNX, right? You're going to get the wealth standard. Word is bond. I'm taking this off tomorrow, so all of that won't come with it. This is my last day. I said that a couple of times, but this is literally the last time. So you will get the wealth standard. In the wealth standard, we teach a full financial literacy. We teach a history of the money markets, commodities, assets. We teach the wealth standards where we give you a breakdown of every single different culture and how they build wealth. You understand me? We in the infinite wealth strategies, you get access to all of the classes that we taught about blockchain, things of that nature. But in a wealth standard, that one is crazy. Give you the intro to options, forex, all of those different things. Like it's so much to really, to be honest, like I'm not even really properly selling this because it's a lot. Those who understand the value of what I put out, then they will just get it. But tomorrow is the absolute last day. So I promise y'all, you will not go on and text that number and see it. I have to make sure that it's the last because it's way too much value. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to break them down a la carte. And then we just prepare for this BWO. And that is what it is. But if you get that value, you tap in, then I appreciate y'all. If not, I still love y'all. You understand me? I just love those who love themselves a little more. Peace, family. I'm out. Thank you for being here. It's love.